defenseless does not make bad people harmless. Think about it. Gun control laws only disarm the law-abiding. Murder, rape, and assaults are already against the law. So do you really think a law that bans concealed carry will stop a criminal?
No.
Well, help us fight back and become a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. We make activism easy, so join us today. Go to sdcgo.org/join.
You know, on that note, I had a lot of inquiry. I didn't interrupt you, did I? Did I interrupt
Yes, you did.
Okay,
But
well,
that's
good.
perfectly okay.
That's what I was looking for.
I know it wouldn't be the first
That's
time.
my Christmas present to you.
Well, happy Hanukkah to you, too.
Someone asked me, SB2's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot we're going to talk about. We struck some stuff down, and there's some other things in the works, and there's a lot of good news to talk about, and some clarity that we're going to provide. But somebody emailed me, and in a panic, I'm getting a ton of panicked emails, right? And they said, "How can you remain so calm when all this is happening?" And I kind of laughed, and I thought, you know what the real answer is, because people ask me that a lot. They say, "Hey, you're pretty calm, whatever, keep a calm, level head." And the reality is exactly what we were just talking about. The reason I'm able to remain calm is because I know I'm a part of a group that actually gets things done. And that provides a level of calmness. And I think that if you're a member of San Diego County Gun Owners or Orange County Gun Owners, Inland Empire Gun Owners, as long as you're just paying your fees, you're part of an organization that's actually getting something done. We're actually getting things done.
How much gets done when you blow up? How much gets done when you scream, yell, and holler, and rant, and rave, and cuss, and call people names? Well, what gets done?
Well, sometimes that's how I get things done. But for no.
So
but for the most part, I go, hey, you know what? We're gonna beat this thing.
But and you're way more positive than I am.
Well,
I have a tendency to go off, but I listen to way more news than you do. And I think you were right when you said, I'm done with this stuff.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I just said, forget it with the news.
You don't even know who the president is.
We have a president? I don't think the president knows who the
doesn't.
president is. In all fairness.
Say hi to Alisha.
Miss Alisha, Merry Christmas. Speaking
Merry
of calm,
Christmas to
cool, and collected.
Panic does no good.
So you
How
didn't
are
have
you?
to go shooting today?
Not today.
You didn't come in all sweaty?
Not this time.
Okay. Well, she always has a cover.
We like to check in on you, see how sweaty you are right at the top of the hour.
We have a sweat gauge.
Well, yeah. The good thing is when you're out at the range, everybody all smells the same, so it's okay.
Like ammo.
On the 8s, we make sure to report just how sweaty Alisha is.
I
That's
did think
kind
of
thing.
her the other day. I was
What?
watching Mad Max, the new one.
Yeah?
Came out 2015.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was driving the truck.
Okay.
You'll have to watch it.
All right. I'll have to check it out.
Have you seen it?
Not the new one, no.
It's pretty good.
No.
Tell everybody what happened at Janet's this morning. I like that story. Janet's Cafe.
You already forgot.
Yeah, I already forgot.
You went in.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve, and somebody did something special.
Oh, yeah.
Tell everybody real quick.
Guy just comes in
Yeah?
and walks up to the cashier and says, I'm buying breakfast for everybody in the restaurant.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Whoever that guy is. And he's just some anonymous guy.
They say he does it every year, but they never know what time he's going to come in or when he's going to come in. And he came in at the busiest time.
Yeah.
Because he could have came in 10 minutes before they opened,
Yeah.
and saved himself
Bought
some money.
one guy some coffee.
Yeah,
But
and
that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to buy a lot of people. He wanted to spread a lot of joy on Christmas Eve.
I thought that was huge.
That is. If you're listening there, guy out in Alpine, thank you.
Yeah, and
Merry
especially
Christmas to you.
because Mike likes Alpine.
I do. Well, you know what? At least you know what I told. So Dave told me that story. You know what I said I was going to do?
What's that?
Next Christmas Eve, I'm there from opening. I'm going to order a huge breakfast and then just sit around and wait. Just
Bring
sit
a
around
book.
and wait.
That's it.
Maybe it'll take him a couple hours, but I'm getting a free breakfast next Christmas
Eat it
Eve.
nice and slow.
And tell him what you had for breakfast. Was it this morning or yesterday morning?
What did I have for breakfast?
At the studio diner?
Oh, yeah, my usual studio diner. I got 4 scrambled eggs and 2 burger patties with mayonnaise and sriracha.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Jump on that one, girl.
I like their mac and cheese. That's pretty good.
That's not mac and cheese. We're talking 2
delicious.
hamburger patties
Delicious.
4 scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
You know, you remind me of the Blues Brothers. Give me 4 fried chickens
And a Coke.
and a Coke.
A Coke.
All right. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. This is our Christmas Eve special show.
And you can tell we're live.
You can tell we're live. Thank you all so much for listening. And thank you all so much for having a fantastic year with us. I get so many comments about, from listeners who listen to the show, and I just want you to know we all very much appreciate it. This show does a lot to help us with the cause, and thank you guys so much for helping us keep the show on. So save the date. Special event March 2nd and 3rd is the next San Diego Gun Show, and man, this gun show is shaping up to be really cool.
That's right.
We're going to have, it's a 2-day gun show. It's at the Legacy Center in Mission Valley. We're going to have more guns. We're going to have more accessories. We're going to have ammo. We're going to have food. We're going to have hot rods, right? Hot rods and handguns. We're going to have.
Yeah, no, and you're going to get you on KUSI.
We're going to KUSI's now. I was just talking to them over the weekend. They're going to come down and cover it.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, we're going to have a symposium with lots of really cool guest speakers. In about a week, we're going to announce the headline sponsor, who's got a special announcement.
Oh, I can't wait.
And of course, Saturday night on March 2nd, we're going to have movie night. We're going to have our very favorite movie playing. You'll get to come watch a movie with us. It'll be very, very fun.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Exactly.
It's a murder movie.
Exactly. So we're extremely, extremely happy. It's a nice, new, roomy, modern place with parking.
You're very up on this one.
What's that? What do you mean?
This you seem more excited this year about the gun show.
Yeah.
I legitimately now listen.
And all the other ones, with not all, but the last 2 that we did.
I got to tell you, I went. I at one point over the course of about 12 or 14 years, I went to every gun show in San Diego, 5 a year for like 12 years straight. Mm-hmm. I liked it. It was great. But I'm telling you right now, this gun show and symposium that we're doing on March 2nd and 3rd,
symposium is the kicker.
Best ever.
Yeah.
This is going to be an event not to be missed.
Because we have, correct me if because I know you did a lot of follow-up to the show. What did you like? What didn't you like?
Yeah.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, you got one negative comment on the symposium.
Everybody loved the symposium.
I think they thought that was because everybody, gun show's a gun show.
Yeah.
But the symposium actually gives back to the person coming at the price of the ticket. You don't pay anything additional for the symposium.
Free speakers.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's great. And again, more guns. We had very few guns at the last gun show. We're going to have a lot of guns at this gun show. Ammo you can purchase, food, beer garden.
Yeah.
Alisha, I'm looking at you.
I'm in.
It'll be very, very, very fun. So, how can you participate? Well, there's going to be a lot of sponsorship opportunities, lots of opportunities to promote your company at this gun show. Exhibit, you can get a table or booth. We also have additional promo packages. Just contact Rich at gunownersradio.com. That's Rich, R-I-C-H, at gunownersradio.com. Volunteer. Go to the San Diego County Gun Owners website and look at the volunteer page. Help us make this an amazing part of the Second Amendment community. And, of course, attend. Mark your date. Mark your calendar right now, March 2nd and 3rd. Tickets will be on sale soon, so join us there.
And remind me
it's gonna be awesome.
to get some plugs on KCBQ.
Okay, all right.
A couple of weeks prior to the show.
Yeah, well,
we didn't do that last year.
Yeah, well, we really are looking for every avenue we possibly can to promote this thing. It's going to be a lot of word of mouth, and I think that this thing deserves a lot of attention. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, March 2nd and 3rd, or sign up for San Diego County Gun Owners or Gun Owners Radio's newsletter, and we'll be sure to keep you informed.
Hey, if you ever have legal matters that include firearms, you need California best firearms lawyer, and that means John Dillon. In case you need red flag laws answered, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you need to know that your guns are California compliant. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws, so put his number on your phone right now, 760-642-7150. That's John Dillon's California firearms lawyer, 760-642-7150.
All right, everybody, we got some monumentally good news this week. I don't know if anybody heard. KUSI was particularly interested in it. They had me on 3 times, Friday morning, Saturday morning, and Saturday night. I need like a third color jacket, I think, so that
You need just another jacket.
I have a brown one and a black one, and I wore them both, and they asked me to come on a third time, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Anyway, so I was on KUSI talking about SB2. SB2 is the mother of all horrible CCW laws. As you know, there's a bunch of pieces. That's one thing that I want to explain right up front. There's a bunch of pieces of SB2. SB2, you have laws that are pretty straightforward. Like, hey, we're going to raise this sales tax by 0.5%. Okay, well, that's all that bill does, right? All it does is one thing. It raises a sales tax by 0.5%. Then you have other laws where it's a whole myriad of stuff, a whole cornucopia of stuff, and that's what SB2 is. There's a lot of stuff.
Stuff as much in as they can.
Yeah, the big one is, the big piece is where they define, or I should say, well, they expand sensitive areas. So right now, sensitive areas, schools, courtrooms, airports, right? Well, SB2 expanded those sensitive areas to be everything, literally everything. It's not hyperbole. It's
Would
really.
this be a sensitive area right where we're sitting?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think what would be the sensitive part would be, the problem is I don't know if the office would be, but the lobby and the parking lot would be. So how do you get into the office, without, so we could carry here in the office, in the studio, but once we went into the lobby, that'd be considered a public area, and then the parking lot would be considered a public area. So basically everywhere, it was a monster. But there are other pieces, like it increased training for renewals from 4 hours to 8 hours, initials from 8 to 16 hours. It centralized much of the CCW process. So right now the sheriff decides who is a CCW instructor and who isn't, and how they qualify. Well, SB2 said we're gonna centralize all that. They have to go through California. California decides who does and doesn't qualify. And then there's some other pieces that we haven't even addressed yet. There are some other pieces where we don't even know how they're going to implement it. Like they talk about increased background checks and some other things. So when you file a lawsuit, you have to be very specific. When you're getting it in front of a judge, you can't just say, hey, we don't like SB2, so we want to get rid of SB2. It's not how it works. You have to not just say, you can't even say like, hey, we don't like that sensitive areas part. We want to get rid of that part. You have to go through and, well, here's why we want to get rid of the sensitive area, or making churches a sensitive area. This is why we want to get rid of making stores a sensitive area. You have to spell it out and be very, very specific. It's extremely complicated. We kind of laugh about how much, attorneys make $400 an hour or whatever.
That's why they do.
That's why they do. It's so enormously complicated. And I think people just think, well, why don't you just send them a copy of the Second Amendment, and
Tell them to read it.
Yeah, tell them to read it, and then we should all be good. It's not how it works.
No,
it's not even close.
No.
I wish, we all kind of wish that's how it works.
it makes sense that that's all you'd have to really do.
Maybe that's how it should work.
Well, you'd think.
But
Maybe it's interpretation.
Well, yeah, and we got to, unfortunately, I got to live in reality. I can't just go, well, that's how it should work. And then
Don't get upset.
Watch,
Stay
go watch TV.
Stay calm and cool and collected.
So, our case, our lawsuit, where myself and another guy up in Orange County, Carolero is the guy's name up in Orange County, Garrison Ham are plaintiffs. Again, myself personally, Michael Schwartz is a plaintiff. And then San Diego County Gun Owners is a plaintiff. Orange County Gun Owners is a plaintiff on behalf of all their members. And then Firearms Policy Coalition is a plaintiff. We filed a lawsuit directly at the sensitive areas part. Like, hey, we need to get rid of the sensitive areas part. And so I had to spell out, well, what about the sensitive areas? What sensitive areas that they want to expand to do I go to, and why? So it's a whole big thing. Wednesday, a judge agreed with us that it is unconstitutional, and he put an injunction on it. And so this is not going to be enforced. And it was an extremely strong statement by the judge. He described it as repugnant. Repugnant.
Wow.
Yeah, which is...
you don't get that often.
I got to tell you, you go look at, this is a Ninth Circuit federal judge who was or is generally considered, to be pretty middle of the road and level-headed. He's not some extremist activist judge, but this was extremely strong language because this law is so horrible and bad.
He must have read the Constitution.
He must have read the 27 words in the Second Amendment.
Or the Second Amendment, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, this is an example of the Bruin case giving this judge, the backing and ammunition he needed to make this ruling. So the Bruin case, like I said, is not the end. It's a tool. It's the beginning of the use of a tool that we're going to benefit from for years and years and years. So Wednesday injunction. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean to have an injunction on the sensitive areas part? Well, first off, that injunction doesn't apply to any other piece of SB2.
Right, because SB2 is made severable.
Yeah. There's, the 8 hours versus 4 hours for renewals, the 16 hours versus 8 hours.
The instructor, all that.
All that.
Stays.
All that stays. This is just an injunction on this one piece, which was by design. We wanted to go after this one piece and make sure that we got on the right track on this one piece. So what does that mean? What does it mean? If you have a CCW, in effect, if you have a CCW in California, day to day, there's no difference. SB2 now, there's no effect to you. Now, if you're getting your CCW, one way it affects you is that your training has just doubled. You've gone from 8 hours to 16 hours. So that's one way it affects you. And right now, the instructors are submitting a 16-hour curriculum, getting it approved, getting that all prepared. Did you guys do that yet?
Yep, ours are in.
Yeah,
Yep.
your 16-hour.
Yep.
What if what are people learning in an additional 8 hours? What kind of additions did you make to your curriculum?
So really, the way that you stretch the time, well, of course, there's some new additional content that's required. So there's the whole mental health portion. So you're going to add that in. Really, what was done is a lot more time spent, which I'm not totally against the whole idea of additional training, because what it is in the 8 hours prior, it was difficult, I found, to hit all the key points that I thought were important to spend enough time on certain things. And one of those is going to be the handling portion. So now we are able to kind of give a lot of good time to proper handling. We can talk more about some of your concealment options. We can talk about, the quality of your holsters, your equipment, how and where you carry. We can kind of spend some time working on drawing if we want to. And I found that I didn't really have a whole lot of time to provide that prior. And a lot of people come to the class expecting to be taught how to shoot, and there just wasn't time for that. They had to get that prior. So we're able to expand the time, spending some time on that.
We really did. We hammered that home in the CCW seminars, like how to get your CCW.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, hey, this is your responsibility. You're responsible for showing up, knowing
Right.
how to shoot.
People don't get that.
Too many people don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not taking a class. You're taking a test.
Right.
It's a whole different mentality. Well, that's good. Okay, so day to day, if you're sitting there on the radio thinking, Mike, I got my CCW. How is this thing going to affect me? You're not going to see any difference. There's no difference now.
Well, the cost.
Okay. So if you have your CCW
Mm-hmm.
as you're carrying whatever, no difference. Now, if you're renewing your CCW,
Right.
you will see a difference, and the difference you'll see is it'll go from 4 hours to 8 hours of training. The cost will go up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Do you guys have pricing yet?
For the most part, I've noticed a lot of people are pretty much doubling, or maybe going just shy of double.
Okay.
It's trying to be competitive, but
Which
you've
is?
got to be realistic. Every instructor gets to choose their own cost. I've seen people charge anywhere from $200 to $300 for the initial, which now you're looking at anywhere from $400 to $600 is kind of what I'm seeing, and that's a pretty big range. But a lot of instructors are in different places. Some have some better resources and placement. They're having to pass on the cost of the space that they're using to rent for most of them. So some of it's out of their control. They're having to pass on that cost. So yeah,
I wonder how we can combat that. I wonder if we can bigger classes and use the economies of scale, or I don't know. I wonder how we can combat that and make it a little bit better. I'll have to think more about that. So every 2 years, how much? So what? How much is a renewal now?
Renewal? You mean the portion to the sheriff, or are you talking about a CCW class?
When you renew the CCW, like when I go in to get my 8 hour renewal, how much are you guys charging for that? Is that a $400 class?
An instructor? The instructors?
A student. Like me as a CCW holder, I'm going to renew my CCW, and I'm taking the 8 hour class. How much am I paying for that?
You're going to be looking probably around $200.
$200 for
Yep.
the renewal class.
Yep.
That's
right,
today.
24. Okay,
Yeah,
so
200
everybody
at lowest.
everybody needs to start if you have a CCW, you need to start putting $8.33 aside every month, so you can save up for your class.
Yeah, and I would say that's on the low end, to be honest. Plus your ammo.
Plus your ammo.
Plus your ammo.
So maybe just
You
a solid
used your
$10.
calculator, didn't
I had to use my calculator.
I was curious.
Well, I don't know what 24. See what 400 divided by 24. I don't know kind of math in my head.
I thought you were a
heard
banker.
you heard what I eat for breakfast.
I thought you were a that's brain food.
I was. We had calculators at the bank.
Had people to do it for me.
As a banker, I'm a really good Second Amendment advocate.
Yes, you are. Unbelievable, I might add.
Okay, so if you're reapplying, you're renewing your deal, then 8 hours rather than 4, you're probably looking at about $400. If you're an applicant, if you're in the window right now, if you're in the process, I should say right now, it's important to remember there's no grandfathering. Once January 1st hits, the doubling of the hours happens. So if you don't have your CCW by January 31st, then you're under the new rules under January 1st.
Can you do it early?
What do you mean?
Say it's not going to expire till February.
They allow you to submit 45 days prior to your expiration date. So it
Okay,
kind
so
of
you
depends on
could.
where
There
that
are
window.
some people that could get in under the wire.
Yeah, but
Some can.
tomorrow's the 25th. They're not even open. Tuesday's the 26th. If you don't have it by now, you're pretty much under the new rules.
You think?
Yeah, you're not gonna. No,
I might
there's
check with Alisha. She knows more than you.
nothing's happening this
She
week.
knows more than you do. And she'll train you tomorrow.
Oh, believe me, she's always trying to train me,
I know. Well,
one way or another.
I mean, it's
Someone's got to.
Huh?
Someone's got to.
A full-time job.
So that's what's going on with part of SB2. There's a couple more things I want to talk about. A couple more things I want to.
Shall we do it in the next segment?
We're going to do it in the next segment, but I want to make clear: if you have your CCW now, there's really you're not going to see any changes until you have to re-enlist. Then your hours and your price are going to double. Is really what it amounts to, and we're working on all that. Now, when we come back, I want to talk about what's going on with the instructors and what that whole debacle. And what
And
the latest
maybe we
is.
can get a discount out of Alisha.
Oh, I don't want to get. I want to give her even more money rather than a discount
Well, you go right
because she's a
ahead.
fantastic instructor.
And I think you should.
Yeah.
You're playing your song. Hey, learn to fly. Get your
Mm.
pilot's license. San Diego is one of the best places to get your airplane pilot's license because pilots can fly almost every day. Learn to fly with San Diego Flight Training International. Gun owner radio listeners, check this out. You get 1 hour of ground school and 1 hour of flight with an instructor, and yep, you get to fly. It's a $400 deal, but they're going to give it to you for $350. Give them a call at 858-569-1822. Learn to fly with SDFTI, or just call them at 858-569-1822.
Okay, so we're talking about SB2. We just talked about the injunction, which we're very, very happy about, and that was our case up in Orange County. The judge was fantastic, and we're very, very proud. If you're a member of Orange County Gun Owners or San Diego County Gun Owners, you're a plaintiff in that case because it was San Diego County Gun Owners and Orange County are both named and on behalf of our members. So Kelly Martinez, the sheriff, came out with a bulletin on the 21st, so it was just a couple of days ago. California Senate Bill 2, new statewide standard to public carry regulations and concealed carry weapons licensing. Beginning January 1, 2024, California State Senate Bill 2 will go into effect and establish a new statewide standard impacting the state's public carry regulations and concealed carry weapons license. SB2 provisions include stronger storage and training requirements on the proper handling, loading, unloading, and storage of firearms, identifying certain sensitive public places where guns may not be carried, and due process protections to allow anyone denied a CCW license based on a finding that they are not qualified to carry firearms in public to a hearing before a Superior Court judge, among other provisions. On December 20th, 2023, the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California issued a preliminary injunction in 2 companion cases, May versus Bonta and Carrilero versus Bonta. The court's order prohibits enforcement of specific SB2 provisions that prohibit the carry of concealed weapons in certain quote-unquote sensitive places. Well, the court order remains in effect. The following penal code sections are not enforceable against any individuals with permits to carry a concealed weapon, and then it gives the penal code section. The court's order is limited to the identified sections. All remaining provisions of SB2 take effect on January 1st. So just basically a formal way of saying what we just talked about in the last segment, that the sensitive areas piece has an injunction, but the rest of it is still in effect. Sort of. There's another little piece that's not quite in effect yet. So regarding the issuance of CCW license, SB2 mandates that all licensing authorities, San Diego County Sheriff's Department, of course, Orange County if you're listed in Orange County, Riverside if you're listed in Riverside, and San Bernardino and San Bernardino, must now issue a CCW license to the applicant who meets specific standards, including that the applicant is not a disqualified person, as defined in Penal Code Section 26202. They're got to be at least 21, the recorded owner of the firearm. You have to have completed the training, and you have to be a resident of the county or city within the county where you're applying. The training course shall be at least 16 hours in length, as opposed to 8 for new applicants, and at least 8 hours in length for renewal applicants. SB2 replaces California's good cause and good moral character requirements. These new requirements will apply to all initial and renewal applicants received on or after January 1st, 2024. I encourage you to reference the bill's provisions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kelly Martinez, Sheriff. So we don't really know exactly what these new good cause, or I'm sorry, these good moral character requirements are. They haven't really truly spelled it out yet, and none of the sheriffs know exactly what they're doing. I do know that the San Diego County Sheriff, Orange County Sheriff, Riverside, and San Bernardino, those sheriffs, nothing's changed. This is the application process. Absolutely nothing's changed. We'll have to see, what happens. Now, there is another piece where the California DOJ came out with a quote-unquote emergency order, and they were looking for feedback on basically the way a CCW instructor, how do they get certified to be a CCW instructor? And they put out a proposal, a draft, it's not in effect yet, and they said, hey, we want feedback, and you can actually still give feedback. We don't have the website right now, do we?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll send it out via email and on social media. But basically, it's pretty much, Alisha, correct me if I'm wrong, it's pretty much identical to the way you used to qualify, with the exception that they pulled the NRA certification, so you can't get there by being NRA certified, and USCCA certified, so you can't get there by.
Well, USCCA wasn't usable prior either. It was a NRA pistol instructor plus one additional cert, and they had kind of a preferred list that they preferred that to be. And USCCA did not qualify only because the certificate that the USCCA provided did not list specific information on the certificate that the sheriff was needing.
Oh, interesting.
So I couldn't get them to accept my USCCA. I did try. So that was unusable. It was NRA only, really, was the only route to get there.
And they pulled that.
Probably
for political reasons.
I would imagine.
They just don't like the NRA, is really all it amounts to.
Right.
But here's the deal. They're looking for feedback. They've already taken a lot of feedback. We need to give them more feedback, not the kind of feedback where, oh, you guys are jerks and this is commie and libs and what. Not that. We need to explain, hey, you know what? There's no way for a person who hasn't gone through the military or gone through law enforcement to get a CCW instructor certification. That doesn't make any sense. So the sheriff, Kelly Martinez, basically said, look, we need clarification. First off, we don't have an official document. Right now it's just a draft and a proposal. They're taking feedback. But nothing's changed. The way an instructor became an instructor before is still the same way. We have to wait to see how this all pans out. That being said,
they're requiring something additional now.
What are they?
Well, so what they're saying is to carry through 2024, they are accepting now and they're requiring an FSC instructor cert.
Oh yeah, right.
Which many instructors do not have.
They don't, but
there's quite a few that do.
But it's not obtainable.
It is. It's doable.
I mean, you go fog a mirror and you got one. It's
Pretty
not.
much.
It's not that hard.
Right.
So okay, they added that, and really what that does is there's a section in there that says you have to be certified through the California DOJ. But they don't really state how.
Well, the FSC is through the DOJ.
Yeah. So they're saying, all right, well, this is it then.
For now.
The hope is that they aren't going to say, oh, well, here we got this big shiny object over here that we want you to pay attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're going to come up with some new thing. But yes, you're absolutely right. The FSC is technically you're certified through the California DOJ. So boom, that's what they think fulfills that requirement. But again, anyone can do that.
Right.
Like you really just do it.
Doesn't provide
and you got it.
any validation to an instructor's
competence.
No, none.
I know.
None.
It's stupid.
Right.
But okay, fine.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not even joking when I say to get certified. What, it takes 2 hours, right?
There
it's
is
not even
yeah,
that.
you have to take a and for anybody listening who's not sure what we're talking about, FSC is when you go and you purchase a firearm, you have to have your firearm safety certificate.
Yeah.
Right. So the FSC instructor is someone who has gone through a process of training to understand the basics and the fundamentals to be able to understand the questions on that test.
Right.
And so you get a certificate and then you submit, you become an FSC instructor. You can then issue that test and issue cards.
Excellent.
So-
and to become an FSC instructor, I think it's just 2 hours.
I think it was like 2 or 3 hours, something along that.
Or maybe 3. But yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it wasn't long.
So, okay, fine.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a nuance, so they have to do it. Nah. But the point is, they're able to do it. It's
Correct.
you know, they're able to actually do that. So we do. All that being said, there's a lawyer here in San Diego who is looking at the case. I actually was just talking to him right before the show, and he is chomping at the bit. The only thing is you can't file a lawsuit until something actually happens.
Right.
And right now, nothing's really happened. They're just saying, here's what we think we want to do. Give us feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing the attorney said to me, he's such a great guy. He said, we will take this case and we will win this case. I love the confidence. I love the dedication. A lot's happening, but don't panic. We're working our way through it. Nothing, only good things have happened so far. We won an injunction. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's happened as far as nothing detrimental or horrible or preventative has happened as far as instructors. So you'll be able to get your CCW renewed. The one thing that's bad that's happened is the cost has doubled, and that stinks. That really truly does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play that down either.
It's going to make it unattainable for some people.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money, especially in this economy.
Because you're paying fees to the sheriff. It's not like the cost is your only fee. You're paying a fee to the sheriff.
Yeah.
You're paying the fees and the ammo for your course, and it adds up. It's pretty expensive.
A listener just sent in an announcement here. He said, FYI, there are a couple of 4-hour CCW renewal seats at Discount Gun Mart on Tuesday. I already booked mine. So the answer to your question is I was wrong. Tuesday they do have a 4-hour renewal.
Yeah, he opened up a new class. It wasn't on the calendar
good.
before.
That's awesome, Kyle, and Discount Gun Mart, and Patrick, and JB, and everybody down there. Thank you so much, and thank you, Steve, for sending that text. That's awesome. So, how close do you have to be to expiration?
45 days is when they allow you to submit your certificate. One question that's kind of floating that we're not sure about, and one thing I like to mention is that the Sheriff's Department is having a Zoom meeting for CCW instructors for all these kind of questions to kind of be ironed out Wednesday morning, I believe it is. But you can submit 45 days prior to your expiration date. The question that's kind of lingering is your certificate that you get when you take your course is valid for 90 days.
Yeah.
And so
can you do it in 90 days?
Yeah, if you take it now but if you're not quite in your 45 days yet, can you submit after January 1 when you are in your 45 days and still have the certificate count now? That's what we're not sure about.
I'd bet you can, but we don't know that for sure, so I don't want to give anybody any bad information on that. But.
Right.
But anyway, it's, look, I'm a glass half full guy. And the reason I'm a glass half full guy is because what I said at the beginning of the show, we are striking back and winning. There is don't throw your hands up in the air and give up. We're doing good things. And if you're paying your fee and you're involved in San Diego County Gun Owners, Orange County Gun Owners, and Empire Gun Owners, well, then you're doing good too.
Hey, Riverside and San Bernardino. Even with the Bruin case, the gun grabbers are getting even more desperate. Let's face it, all these laws disarm only the people that would use a gun to defend themselves. Fight back and do something to defend your Second Amendment rights. Join Inland Empire Gun Owners right now. We are growing the 2A community and are getting more pro 2A officials elected every day. Membership is only $10 a month, and it's real easy to join. Just go to iegunowners.com/join.
Okay, so next up we want to talk about a defensive gun use, or DGU, success story.
Mm-hmm.
This is Pleasant Hill consignment store worker scares off robbers with a gun.
That's it.
Do you? Who's got the info on this?
I got it.
Fire away.
So, and looking and researching on this article here, I was amazed. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. So I feel like maybe I live under a little bit of a rock in my
do.
happy place. I do just a bit. I was amazed at the number of robberies just this year. It seems to be a huge escalation. Bringing up all these articles, really, I kind of started looking more into it and seeing trends, and there's a huge escalation this year alone. But what happened here? This was a jewelry, jewelry that jewelry and watches and things like that. And what it is and the shop is pretty large. So there was a woman who was kind of walking and browsing through the store, and they pretty easily were able to identify her as kind of a lookout. She was looking at cameras. She was just kind of getting the lay of the land. She was on a phone kind of communicating some things. And, when you work in this kind of environment, you really got to be a good people watcher, right? You got to start to learn like those furtive things. You got to kind of be able to notice these things before they come your way. They kind of identified that she was probably up to no good. And so security was kind of keeping a close eye on her. She then attempted she did leave. She left. And when she left, she tried to linger and loiter at the door where security was so she could hold that door open because she had some buddies that were outside waiting to come in, and security was trying to secure and shut that door. She was trying to pop it and hold it open so her friends could come running in. So these men did come running in. There were several of them. They came in armed, and one of the jewelers, anticipating a problem, kind of got himself to a position to where he felt like he had a little bit of an advantage, and he was armed. And I'm thankful he was armed. Many jewelry stores as far as the ones that I know and talk to, they're all armed, right? Which is huge, and I'm so thankful that they are. And if they aren't, I highly advise that they change, get some training and change that. He got himself to a position of advantage, and he drew when the robber came up towards him with a firearm drawn, and he came out. He had a revolver. I'd like to say
shop owner had a revolver.
Shop owner had a revolver. I'd like to say though, if he happens to be listening or if anybody knows him, I'd love to offer him some training.
No.
So what he came out with, he had one hand on the gun. And he had his other hand across the top of the barrel up near the hammer, just kind of covering it. And he had his hand. Had he have had to fire? I'm thankful he didn't fire. Just showing that gun was enough to chase these people off.
Right.
So no rounds were exchanged, thankfully. And had he have had to fire, though, he could have potentially hurt himself. His hand was right in the place where the hammer would have gone.
Well, in the blast from the side too, probably.
Correct. Oh, absolutely.
That would have been bad.
Absolutely.
And the perps, as soon as they seen it,
they
turned.
They changed. They realized they left the oven on.
Ran like rabbits.
Have you seen, Dave? I think you'd like this. There's a video online where we're all, a lot of us are so used to semi-autos that we have this hand position that's taught to everybody.
It's a really good way to lose a thumb on a revolver.
Yeah, and the way this guy illustrated this by firing a revolver, and he put a hot dog where some people normally put their finger, and then showed what happened when
chopped off the hot dog.
Yeah, it was not good. So because the cylinder, the sides of the cylinder, there's a little bit of blast that comes out there. But it's a lot of bit of blast if it's your finger.
That's why when you shoot a revolver, you see a little bit of flame. It's not that that's not there on a semi-automatic. It's just contained. You don't see it.
Right.
It has an opportunity and a gap to leave on a revolver.
Well, let me tell you, my father gave me a revolver when I moved to San Diego.
Did he?
And he said, now, whatever you do, don't use it. Because I'm just telling you, don't shoot anybody with it.
What are you supposed to do with it?
That's what I said. So I
just look at it.
No, I didn't
make friends.
I have a feeling if they ran the numbers, I'd probably go to jail.
Oh,
so I didn't use it. So one buddy of mine asked me to come down off 94 to go to the sheriff's range, and go shoot with it. So I got down there and loaded it all up, and I got ready to shoot down range, fired it, and hit this guy and hit this guy with all of the crap that came out between the barrel. The round where the bullets go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was exactly like what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
So they took my gun.
Well, so they took your gun. Well, so you're offering them training, huh?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah.
But then they also said in the article, because I watched the news, that the association, basically the Small Business Owners Association, are telling these people, get a gun,
be armed,
get your CCW, and be armed. And they're finding that the actual robberies of these stores is dropping because, well, the guys actually
so are the robbers.
Yeah, but they're not. They really don't want to shoot anybody. They just
No.
want to rob the joint.
Right. You drop a few robbers, your
That's all it's
crime
good.
stats are
I've
going to
told
drop
you,
too.
I already told you my feeling is on that.
Well, and it's Alisha always brings up a good point, and there's yet another one today. One thing that isn't talked about enough is the fact that studies show that between 1 million and 3 million times a year, somebody uses a firearm in the United States to prevent or stop some kind of violent crime.
Right.
And it's usually we're not talking about pulling a trigger. It's
Right.
usually most of the time, vast majority of the time, they're not even pulling a trigger.
Right.
They have the gun, they pull the gun, they show the gun.
And this is a shameless plug, but one of the guys on the Tierra del Sol off-road show, we were talking about guns, of course. We were talking about Not Me SD, and they wrote it all down for their wives.
Oh, cool.
And the one guy says, anybody that buys a gun should also buy the insurance.
Yeah.
And I says, well, you're talking about firearms legal protection.
Right.
He goes, absolutely. He says, for this little amount of money, nobody should own a gun without that type of protection.
100%.
And I told him, I says, yeah, have you ever noticed that when there is a gun incident on the news and then the guy fires or what have you, you notice there's never any follow-up? It's because they have insurance.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it
You have a
goes,
lawyer that tells him to shut up.
that's right. And it all goes away. Nobody goes to jail because they've got that type of protection.
But imagine if the news started covering all these defensive gun use stories. Imagine if every
Oh.
day, it happens often enough that the news
yeah.
could cover
Oh, yeah.
one every single day.
But they won't.
But imagine if they did.
No.
If they did, the actual, people's public opinion would change. It would seep into the culture. They'd see that guns aren't evil, bad, or whatever. It drives me crazy when people say, you got to be calm and understanding, and you got to kind of put your arm around people, and it's new to them. But it drives me crazy when people, say, well, I'd rather not have a gun, or I'd rather not use a gun, or I'm not comfortable with a gun. And I think the piece that they're missing is you're making a choice. You'd rather have a gun, and the rest of that sentence is, I'm sorry, I'd rather not have a gun, and the rest of that sentence is, and die. Because that's the time you use a gun is when you are going to be killed.
It's a tool of last resort.
Tool of last resort in a lethal,
That's right.
or in a potentially lethal attack where you're using lethal force. It's odd. People don't think that through, and I think that if we could get the kind of coverage, if we talk about these defensive gun use situations more and more and more, and it seeps into society, that piece would come across.
You must hang around the wrong people.
Yeah, well,
Because everybody,
look where I am right
Hey,
now, Dave.
Everybody I talk to about guns and they're all positive. They're all writing shit or
Yeah.
stuff down about either our website or,
Right.
or the radio show. The girls
Yeah,
that you got
in the dresses.
in the dresses.
Oh, they were so
they-
beautiful.
They're going to
at
join.
KUSI. Yep.
They're going to
Mhm.
join
Yeah.
Desi's group.
Yep.
So I mean, it seems to me like there was a time whenever I brought up guns, it was no, I don't want to have any. But I'm starting to, because I talk about it a lot, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a change. I'm starting
Yeah.
to see more and more people saying, "Yeah,
No question. In the last 8 years since San Diego County Gun Owners has existed, I'm telling you, the culture is changing
and look
for
the
positive.
joining. Look at the people that are joining San Diego County.
Almost
Gun
4,000 members,
Yeah.
and that's
That's it.
fantastic.
I remember when you were hoping to get 1,000. Remember those days?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
remember. I talk about this all the time. I remember in like year one.
Yeah.
I remember the first. I get a little notification when someone becomes a member, a little email or notification. I remember the first time I didn't recognize the name. Like, wait, who is this guy? Like the first 350 members were me asking somebody to have a cup of coffee with me and join or whatever, And then finally the word came out, and I remember that. I don't remember his name, but I remember seeing the first member who I didn't recognize. I even called him. It's like, hey, just wanted to say welcome, because I was really just curious. Like, how did you hear about us?
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's
so the
fantastic.
culture's changing. I think that media and us talking about it and bringing attention to defensive gun use will continue to help. But that really is the reality. It's not like we're saying, hey, why don't you look cool and carry a gun? No, we're saying,
I
look,
think it's close calls, too. I think people that have been either accosted,
Yeah, well, yeah,
had their car stolen,
right.
or, had their wallet taken or what have you.
But I kind of want to go a step further and say, well, what situation do you think I'm talking about when I say you might need a gun? I mean, we're not talking about like, well, if you're,
someone takes your parking space. That's not what this is.
No, they forget to add the cheese to your burger, and you know what I mean.
You want to take them out.
This is, hey, in case you might die one day, this might prevent that,
or somebody, or your family.
Right, or your family.
I think it's family protection as much as it is self-protection.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I do.
So
defensive gun use. So what else? Anything else on Pleasant Hill?
No, that's all that I had out of Pleasant Hill.
It was Pleasant Hill. Is that here in California?
Believe it or not, it's just outside of Oakland, just
Yep.
a little bit northeast of Oakland.
Concord, Martinez, Pleasantville.
In the Bay Area.
Yeah, up there.
Well, and that's
ironic.
that's a nice area. That's not
Pleasant Hill is a nice area.
Pleasant
That's the other thing. When people tell, oh, I live in a nice neighborhood. Yeah, where do you think burglars go?
Where do they find the good
Yeah,
stuff?
where do they think the good? Yeah, exactly.
That's where the good stuff is.
I just heard somebody. I just heard from somebody the other day. I don't want to give too much information, but I just heard from somebody the other day who was their wife's entire jewelry collection
Gone.
That was in their house. And this person lives they live in an extremely nice neighborhood. You don't go down to the bad neighborhoods.
Yeah, you're not going to get much there.
Yeah, let's go rob somebody who doesn't have anything. No. Anyway.
Hey, help Orange County gun owners get the right people elected in Orange County.
Okay.
People that will stand up and protect your gun rights. How? By becoming a member today. Go to ocgunowners.com/join. Now's the time to join the growing number of gun owners who care and want to protect our Second Amendment rights. Go to ocgunowners.com/join and become a member today.
Winners, prizes, and events. Subscribe and win. Subscribe to our email list and win some swag. This week's winner is...
No drum roll.
To be determined. I probably should have read that first. What does that mean, to be
helps.
determined? Congratulations, TBD. Just email prizes at gunownersradio.com to claim your T-shirt or hat.
Rich is on vacation.
He is on vacation. Listen, if you could do us a huge favor and go to gunownersradio.com and subscribe to the email, especially now with the gun show coming up on March 2nd and 3rd at the Legacy Center, south side of the 8, south, Hotel Circle South in Mission Valley. The Legacy Center, beautiful new location. That's where we held. Did you guys go to the movie that we did there?
What was that?
What was it called? The Case Against the President or something like that with Amanda Milius?
Right.
I did not. I've been there before for another event, and the venue it's huge and it's beautiful. Plenty of space. It's not going to be cramped and tight.
Nope. Modern,
Yep.
clean, lots of parking. I got to tell you, this is going to be the best gun show you've ever been to in San Diego. I really, truly believe that. And it's more than just a gun show. We're going to have It's a car show. We're going to have a symposium. You're going to get to see all kinds of speakers for free. You're not going to have to pay extra to see the speakers. You're going to see them for free. We're going to have movie night on that Saturday where we're going to show an excellent, excellent documentary. I call it a documentary. I don't think it's officially a documentary, Alisha.
I think it can be stretched to be
There might be some pieces, parts in there that were made up.
poetic license, I think.
Yeah, exactly, poetic license. But you get to come watch a movie with us, and we're going to make that fun, too. There's going to be food. There's going to be a beer garden. There's going to be Dave Stahl. There's going to be Alisha. And we're all going to have a lot of fun. And we really want this thing to turn into a cultural event. I think that's probably an accurate way of what we're going for. That's probably an accurate description of what we're going for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Truly trying to make this
All
a
the gun
cultural
culture.
event. Yeah.
All the gun culture.
So we are going to have more guns there than we did last time, and that's fantastic news. But I just want to really paint the picture. Guns, ammo, accessories, gear, clothes, all kinds of cool stuff. The symposium is going to have awesome speakers. It's going to be great prizes, a lot of fun giveaways. And then, of course, we were talking about movie night. We can't tell you which movie yet, but you'll be able to see it online, especially if you sign up to follow our newsletter at gunownersradio.com. And then there's going to be deals on training. If you're a training addict like Alisha is, you'll be able to find some really cool discounts on training. There's a VIP room. I don't even think we have the VIP room fully fleshed out yet, but it's going to be very, very cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. Purchase discounted VIP room. If you're a member, you'll be able to chat, rub elbows with the symposium presenters in the VIP room. Plus, we'll have some special stuff in there. Okay, some classes. We're going to have some Stop the Bleed classes, pepper spray classes, how to build a medical kit, all kinds of really cool stuff. Actually, I may have misspoke. Some of these they may ask for a couple of bucks to see this class. Do you remember? I should probably ask Rich when he gets back. They're either all free or you might have to pay a couple bucks. I don't want to mislead people. But what I'm not misleading you on is the fact that it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And again, if we pull this off, if you help us and we pull this off by attend or volunteer or attend and volunteer, buy a couple of tickets, let some folks know, help us blow this thing up and make it extra special. And if we make this thing extra special the first time out, we're hoping to have 3 of these a year. 3 of these a year, which would be very, very cool. And again, this is much more than just a gun show. It's 2023. We as a community, gun owners, we got to get better. We got to get better at everything we do. We got to get better at fundraising. We got to get better at politics. We got to get better at everything that we do. And there are so many other examples from other industries and special interests that, frankly, do a better job than what we do. And we want to not just be as good as they are at advocacy and organizing. We want to be even better because I, frankly, think our issue is more important. Rich is working on some more of the stuff, and if you're not going to want to miss out, so subscribe to the Gun Owners Radio newsletter for updates at gunownersradio.com/subscribe. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 of these events, plus gun prom, plus Christmas party. What a fun county we live in.
Yeah, I've got both dates on my calendar blocked off.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right?
That's it.
Plus, this year, I don't know if you saw the announcement, but the last weekend in September, the gun rights policy, what's it called? Gun rights policy conference. Gun rights policy conference, GRPC. Second Amendment Foundation has it every year. I think this is year number 39.
Are you going?
39 years. Not only am I going, this is the first time I've ever gone, and the reason, it's here in San Diego.
Are you speaking?
I don't know yet. I'm going to talk to a bunch of people, but this is huge. Hundreds of people. The Gun Rights Policy Conference. They usually have it in Arizona or some other like gun-friendly place. They chose to have it in San Diego. And I choose to believe and have
heard about us.
They've been to gun prom. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good buddies with them.
Oh.
Yeah, this was not an accident or a coincidence.
I bet you get to speak.
I hope so. There's gonna be a lot of speakers. So I don't know.
Well, I
maybe.
know, but you can speak too.
I can speak.
In fact, we had a lot of people in our group. Alisha.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be attorneys, activists. Friday is like media day, so there'll be other podcasters. Like this is the event. This is like you name it. When it comes to
what's the date?
It's last weekend of September.
We really ought to do the radio show down there.
Let's do it. It's in Mission Valley. I forget what's the I forget the venue, but Second Amendment Foundation. I was on a conference call with them. Adam Kraut, wonderful man. He's been to a couple of our gun proms. He spoke a couple of times ago. Great dude, hard worker, good Second Amendment advocate. Talked to him. He's the executive director for the Second Amendment Foundation. And SAF, as he likes to refer to it.
If you can find out the hours,
yeah,
I could see about maybe
broadcasting.
Do 6 hours.
Okay, yeah. Well, it'll be the last full weekend in September.
Oh, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, yeah.
I just need to know the hours of
sure
how long we're going to.
But how cool is that the Gun Rights Policy Conference is here in San Diego?
We'll have to get some shirts.
8 years ago, before this all started, I never would have imagined that they'd have that here in San Diego. It just wasn't the environment. And thanks to our members and thanks to everything we've all done together.
Not the environment.
I think it is. I think it's the perfect environment for it. Nice big middle finger to Sacramento and a pat on the back to all the hardworking activists here in Southern California.
Yeah. A lot of people are waking up, Dave.
You don't even watch the news.
That's true. That's true.
Neither does he.
I don't watch the news.
I talk to people.
I make the news. I'm on the news.
You are the news. Hey, not me. It's for women, by women, and is designed to help women with trading, purchasing a gun, and getting a concealed carry permit. Hard to believe, totally true.
Yep.
And guess what?
What?
It's free. And if you're a woman or you know a woman who needs help, have her sign up today, and we'll give her the help she needs. To sign up, go to notmesd.org. Hey, did you hear Tucker Carlson has his own network now?
No, he has his own network?
Yeah, he's got his own. I just signed up for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
$9
Yeah.
a month.
I did. I think I heard him on like Megyn Kelly was talking about that. I didn't fully understand it was his own network.
Pretty cool.
But yeah.
And there was a place where it says ask a question.
Yeah.
So I sent in.
I saw that. He said, "Hey, come be a guest."
Yeah, and they said it's that part of the website's not, or the streamer is not up yet. Oh, you seen that?
I think we know. I think I know. I think we're 6 degrees of
Hey,
Kevin
he
Bacon.
gives out his phone number to strangers.
Yeah, so I think we can find. I don't think we have to even go through that website. Let me make a note of that.
I've already read 3 of his books.
Yeah, oh, really?
Oh yeah, awesome.
No, I like him very much.
Chadwick Moore was the first book. It was okay.
It's called Chadwick Moore.
Well, that's the author. He was one of his guests all the time. He kind of wrote why he left Fox. And then I've read Ship of Fools, and then I read I can't remember the name of it, but two other books that he wrote. He's a great writer.
Tucker is.
Yeah, he's a great writer.
I just think he's enormously.
He reminds me of you.
We're both
He's not political.
good looking.
He's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. I mean, he's pretty.
I like he asks the right questions. He doesn't just go along with the flow.
No.
Like, I don't really. I can't watch Sean Hannity. I think I could never watch him. I
hate that guy.
I don't know if I hate him, but
because he interrupts. He'll ask somebody a question, and I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to hear the end of it, and then he throws some other stupid question right on top of when it was going to be the right answer.
Yeah. Well, I think Tucker asks all the right questions. I really like that. Speaking of questions,
Yes.
I got a question here.
I don't have an answer.
This is from. Did he put his name? I think I just have an email address.
We don't care.
One of our listeners. Yeah, he didn't put his name. One of our listeners writes in, and you can write in if you have a question, info@gunownersradio.com. Happy to answer any question we are able to. You guys ask for questions and show ideas, he writes. Say that a hypothetical Californian lawfully purchased a few handguns back in the 80s, 90s, and subsequently. They were registered as required, background checks completed, and all other requirements met. But now this hypothetical citizen finds that he is barred from purchasing ammo. How should they proceed to restore compliance and restore their right? Some say to register a formerly registered gun. Some say to just buy a new gun of the same caliber. Go figure. How is the state's ammo blockade? Okay.
That's a good question, brother.
It's a great question, and we get it all the time. So let me. There's a couple of things that we need to touch on here. Okay, so what he's talking about is when you go to purchase ammo. Anybody that's purchased ammo in the last couple of years knows that they do like this Insta background check on you, and what it is checking is a database that's California DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not in that database, so they're not really checking. So the reality is they're not really checking to see if you're a criminal. They're not checking to see if you've ever purchased a gun before. They're not doing all that. They're simply checking this brand new database from California DOJ, and does that database give you a thumbs up or thumbs down? Now, that database, you get a thumbs up if you can legally,
if you legally have purchased or re-registered.
Well, if you can legally have a gun, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the way to get on there, the data, so it's checking to see if you're allowed to have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, if you have a gun and it's not registered, you're not going to get it.
You're not in the database. Yep.
That's probably not. But there's a couple of different ways. So, but I want to. Here's what I want to make clear. I want to make clear the proper goal. Okay, the goal is to get your information in this database.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot of people get confused. Like, hey, wait a minute, I have the right to keep and bear arms. That's not what they're checking.
Oh, let me run down and buy some ammo.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I worked for the government 10 years ago, and they used to do background checks on me all the time. Okay, they're not checking that. All they're doing is looking to see that you're in this one particular database that doesn't really talk to any other database.
They probably don't even care if the ammo meets or correlates with the gun that you own.
We're
No,
getting
they
there.
don't.
We're getting there. That's another excellent point. So The goal is to get into this database. How do you get into this database? Well, there's a couple of different ways you can get into this database. There's actually a form that you can download on the DOJ website and basically just give them your information. In effect, you're registering yourself to get into this database. It's a pain. I don't know why. It should be easy, but for whatever reason, people have difficulty with it. A lot of people haven't had difficulty with it, so try it. The more fun way is to just buy a gun. So from here on out, everybody that purchases a gun and goes through a background check in California, they end up with all their latest information in this database, that they check for ammunition. So the easiest way to get into this database, again, that's the goal, getting into this database, is to go purchase a gun. Go buy your dream gun, go buy a utility Glock that you're going to carry around, whatever. But if you buy a Glock, if you buy any firearm through a gun store in San Diego, and you live in San Diego or Orange County if you live there or whatever, you'll end up in this database. And then when you go purchase ammunition, you'll be in the database. They know you can buy a gun, and you're good to go. Now, here's the other part of it. So there's two ways to get in there, right? Way number one, you fill out this form on the California DOJ website and register yourself. To buy a gun. Now, he alluded to something that you just talked about, Dave. Some say to register or formally register. Okay. By the way, that's another way to do it. Is you can if you register a gun, even that should already have been registered. So
you can re-register.
Just re-register it. You'll get into the database that way.
And if you move from a different state, you can move your registration. You can self-report and move your registration in California, and then you're in the database too.
Registering or re-registering a gun that you've already registered, I don't have any experience or any feedback on that. I don't know how that works.
You do it
I know how to do it, but I don't know if it works well. Do you have any?
It's not. It works, but it can take time. So if it's something that it's time sensitive to where you don't want to wait, because I've had people where they fill out the form, they do this stuff online, and within a couple of weeks they get their acknowledgement and they're good to go. I've also had people where they say it's taken a year or two. So and I don't know what the holdup is for some people. So if it's time sensitive, then buying a gun is 10 days. That's going to be faster. Or using an FFL to do your registration change.
And I don't know why.
It's more efficient.
I'd have to kind of think about this. Why? Because it's really the same process. If you go into CFARS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that how you do it?
Yeah, you do it through CFARS, and then on top left, you're going to look for. I was just pulling it up because I could not remember the acronym. AFS.
Okay. So that's kind of the same like register, like saying, "Hey, here I exist. I'm in California. I'm a guy." It's kind of the same process. You're still telling them. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess.
Well, you're on the list now.
Oh, I'm on all kinds of lists. But yeah, I'm on the list.
Well, because you just won that gun
right
from Gunfighter Tactical.
Yeah, and I was on it before. Most people got on the list.
Oh, I thought it was something new that they just.
It is, and most people got on this list into this database because they'd purchased a gun in the last 10 years or so.
Oh, okay. So I'm
like,
on it.
So like 90% of that list, you know. But if you moved, or they misspelled your name, or they didn't cross their I or dot their T, you might not be on this database, or it might be wrong, or they might have an address that you lived in 10 years ago, You
have to update your address. And a lot of people don't know that they move. You have to update your address.
Right. It all has to be current. So, again, the goal is to get on this database. I know. The goal is to get on this database. So to get on this database, re-register a gun you've already registered. Just go to CFARS and register yourself.
So you recommend doing it?
Absolutely. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to buy ammo.
Okay.
Or buy a gun.
Okay.
So those are the three things. Now, let's get to this important piece because this is a big myth. Some say to just buy a new gun at of the same caliber.
That's a good idea.
It has nothing to do with caliber.
Not relevant.
So let's say you move to California and you purchase a 12-gauge shotgun, and you're in that database, and the only thing that California knows about you is that you own a 12-gauge shotgun. And then you go down to the store next weekend. You're going to go shooting with Alisha, and she's going to let you shoot 50 rounds of 9mm through her gun. So you go down to the store and you want to buy 50 rounds worth of ammo, but the state only knows that you have
a shotgun.
It doesn't matter. You can buy that ammo. You can buy that 9mm. You can buy 45. You can buy 300 Win Mag. You can buy anything you want that's ammunition. There was a myth. I really don't like this. I hate this. It drives me nuts. Every time some new bill comes through, people just start making stuff up, like these doomsday, like, oh, well, the sky's falling, we're all going to die, and this whole big conspiracy theory.
See, I would think that you would have to have a 9mm on record.
Nope.
Then what a stupid.
And just a word about that too. If you're going in to shoot and you're going to be shooting up there on the range, there is no background check.
Yeah.
It's
That's
if
an
you're
even better,
leaving,
that's a good point.
if you're leaving the property with it, that's where the background comes into play. So if you can't pass, you can still go into
Yeah.
a range, buy ammo, shoot it there, and then you're fine. But if you want to take it home, the background's
Right.
required.
Alicia, that's such a good point. In my scenario, yeah, that's such a good point. In my scenario, you wouldn't even need to have done that. You just couldn't leave the range with the ammo, right?
And how bad could that be? You just shoot it all up.
You just shoot it all up.
Yeah.
Oh darn, gotta stay and shoot.
So there you go. So
Training.
how about that?
Training.
So
See, you do learn something on this show.
I know. That was a really excellent question, and it comes up a lot.
It does.
You
A lot of
should get
people
a
don't
hat.
get it.
All right, we'll send him a hat.
I think you should,
Do you want a hat, Mr.
Mr. So-and-so.
Fella?
Mr. Fella.
Guy with the email address.
His name is Mike.
We'll send it. I hope he's listening. He must be. I hope
Yeah,
he's
well,
listening. But that's an excellent question. You can tell your hypothetical Californian.
Yeah, send
That's how
us
to do it.
another message to where you sent this message, and we'll get you a
Yeah,
hat.
or I'll just email.
Because
I'll
we have
email
new
it to you.
hats. They're really
We do.
nice.
We'll send you a Gun Owners Radio hat. And thanks for the question. That's an excellent question. So let's just recap one more time. To get into this database, that's the goal. Get into the database. Register yourself, register a gun you've already registered, or just go buy a new gun.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 ways to get into the database. Maybe there's a 4th. I don't know what it is. Those are the 3 ways I know of.
But the fun way is just go buy a new gun.
And once you're on this database, then you can purchase ammunition without a problem. And
For
I've
anything
purchased
that-
a lot of
for any-
ammunition.
for any
For
gun.
for
anything.
any caliber. So
Wow. See,
And
that-
if you need help figuring how to do that, you can go into any gun shop. They'll kind of walk you through it a bit or talk you through it.
they do a pretty good job of that too.
Yeah.
But don't believe them. A lot of them, if they tell you, oh, it's got to be the same caliber,
All
don't
right.
believe them.
that's what I thought.
Maybe just call me. I'll talk you through it.
There you go. How much you charge?
I'm free.
What's your number?
1-800-FREE. 1-800 Yeah, right. Give her phone number out.
Put it out over the air.
That's it.
Just go to Discount Gun Mart every third Thursday
Yeah,
at 2:00
there you go.
if the sun's up.
Yeah, and he asked also, what's the status? There are so many lawsuits out there happening, and they're all like half of them that are out there right now have to kind of be recharged because of the Bruin case. So I know that the ammo registration lawsuit is continuing to make its way through. But, the status of every single lawsuit out there is we need more money, we need more time, and you have to have more patience. That's the status, So, have a lot of faith. The attorneys are working hard. FPC has partnered with us, and we have a lot of lawsuits. If you go to one thing we don't talk about enough is if you go to sdcgo.org/lawsuits, you'll see a breakdown of all the lawsuits that we're a part of, all the amicus briefs that
That's
we've
why
filed.
we need you to join San Diego County Gun Owners so we can pay
100%.
all these big-time
can
lawyers
Be a part of these lawsuits so that we can file these lawsuits so we can work the firearm policy.
for
coalition.
you, for your protection. Hey, a lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent, the photos are beautiful, and your website looks great, but it's just not getting customers. Why? Because you don't have the words that make people buy. But now you can fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customers to understand what you do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started is super easy. Visit sagetree.com and click on the schedule an appointment button. That's sagetree.com and click on the schedule a call button. By the way,
Yeah?
if you want to help out the Alpha Project, you ever heard of the Alpha Project?
No.
They take care. He's making notes. What are you doing?
Yeah, go ahead. Alpha Project.
It says Merry Christmas. The Alpha Projects are for adults
Well,
that are in
I'm an
need.
adult. Check. Oh, well.
Hot Rod Holly
Yeah.
did a Christmas cruise on KUSI with me this morning. We've
What
been
is a
doing it.
Christmas cruise?
Well, for 10 years when KUSI
Mm-hmm.
fell on, or Christmas fell on, the day I was on TV, we would
Yeah.
bring down hot rods and with blankets and underwear and
Oh, cool.
socks
Yeah.
and jackets,
For folks in need.
and then we would cruise to the Alpha Project Well, today was New Year's Eve, and so we had her come in.
Today's Christmas Eve.
That's what I said. What did I say? New
Year's Eve.
Close.
Week off.
Christmas Eve. And if you would like to be part of this, go down to Pal Joey's right off of Waring Road tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Bring blankets, underwear, socks, whatever you want to do. And then you're going to cruise to the Alpha Project, and then you're going to cruise to dinner or for breakfast. So,
oh, nice. You went when?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah. If your Jeep starts, I think that's something fun for you to.
Hey guys, there's nothing else going on tomorrow. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And
I think that's honestly what a wonderful way to kick off Christmas.
That's what I think. I mean, well, and it's so funny too because when we started it, it was kind of my idea because I said, well, geez, I'm on Christmas Day. Who's going to come to KUSI Christmas Day?
Right.
So I said, hey, Holly, why don't we do a Hot Rod Holly Christmas cruise?
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I says, and we'll go to the Grand afterwards, which is a bar in El Cajon. We'll collect all these toys. We weren't going for the adults at the time.
Yeah.
And I says, and I'll bartend. He says, okay. So over 100 people showed up at KUSI.
Oh, wow.
So we drove down to the bar. I don't do that anymore.
Who is Hot Rod Holly?
You don't know who Hot Rod Holly is?
No, I don't think I do.
She is
what a great Christmassy name.
She drives a 55 Chevy.
Nice.
She has been up the Route 66 at least 3 times.
Yeah.
She's been on the cover of magazines and everything, but she's
wow.
And she's just kind of a car club coordinator, and she just gives and gives and gives and gives and gives. And her car's called Bubba.
That's a good name for
Hot Rod Holly.
Hot Rod Holly, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
and
be like
she videos
New Year's
things.
Edelbrock.
Yeah. But we've been doing it for 10 years, and we've been mainly going to the Alpha Project.
Nice.
To help the adults out. So.
Nothing else matters.
Well,
you know what I mean?
What's the old saying?
Helping people. It's nothing else matters.
'Tis the season.
It really is.
And this is a great time to give back, whether you go and work at a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
Or this, in her case, we're going to her mother's first, and then her mother's got all kinds of treats and cookies and things. And then she's going to stop there for about 30 minutes and then head on. And the Alpha Project goes bananas when she shows up with all these clothes.
I bet.
So
how cool is that? What a great
Well, we're
thing
always
you did,
doing
Dave.
kids. We're always doing little kids. Nothing wrong with little kids, but we're
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
helping the little kids. But these adults, in fact, more and more groups. In fact, I've had 3 that came to San Diego. They're doing blankets and sleeping bags
Oh, good.
for the adults.
Yeah. More and more people need that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I saw a story. On, like I said, we talk about it a lot. I don't watch the news. Every once in a while, something trickles down, and I saw a story. I guess the city of San Diego has entire parking lots full of tents. Like they set up a bunch of tents, and I'm thinking, I guess that's compassionate. That we're helping them out. I mean, it seems like there should be able to do more, but like that's what we're doing for help. But the other thing is, I can't believe we need that. I can't believe I live in a city where we have to set up tents, for people to live in. At that, not 1 or 2, hundreds of tents.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, but just think of all the. Yeah, but the thing that's really crazy is just think about all of the people.
my,
Yeah,
that's Hot Rod Holly.
that's Hot Rod Holly.
When? What time tomorrow?
I think it's 8 or 8, something like that.
All right,
Your
I might-
mother, I'm gonna go cruising by.
Might be there.
And she is a massive
She's a hoot?
hugger.
Oh.
She loves to hug.
No, okay, so where do people go? All honesty. Where,
Hot
like,
Rod Holly, or you go to Pal Joey's
Pal Joey's.
off of, just take Waring Road, 8 to Waring Road, go
Yep.
north, and it's a big complex. There's a Foster Freeze there and a couple other things.
What is Pal Joey's? Is that
It's a bar.
It's a bar.
But it's not going to be open. It's just it's got a huge parking lot, and it's just a great place to start. And
Well, I
that's
think
where
that's
the
awesome.
cruise starts.
And
Yeah.
if they show up, what bring sleeping
Bring it.
bags and stuff like that? Bring stuff to give away, or
Yeah, bring an unwrapped toy, or not a toy, blankets or jackets or underwear or
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, what a good thing you're doing, man.
Yeah. Well, I like to give her a little bit of a Me, I'm going to go see Ferrari.
And that's yeah, really.
Well, I interviewed the stunt coordinator. He did Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
And then I went and I found out he's doing Ferrari. And one of the things I watched the trailers, and they actually replicated these race cars, in aluminum. And the ones they did in aluminum, just like they did at the Ferrari plant, were the ones they destroyed. And the other ones were in fiberglass. And the Ferrari Corporation said, when the movie's over, every car has to be crushed, even the ones that are still done.
And whose movie is that?
Whose movie is it?
Who's the actor?
You won't know him. I don't know him either.
He was kind of big, wasn't he? I think he was a famous guy. I was hearing a little bit about it. Well, that's cool. So you're going to go watch that tomorrow? That's what you're doing for Christmas? That's a good Christmas
Seat 18.
deal. You're gonna go give back,
And then going to go
and then you're going to go watch a Ferrari movie.
Yep, and I told the wife, I says, if you're done doing an ultrasound on a Roddy, you can come with me. Otherwise, I'm going by myself. So put that.
Who hasn't said that to their wife? I mean, I get you. We've been there. We've all been there.
And she already said, have no fear, I'll be there. I was like, okay.
Well, that's fantastic.
But I'm in seat. So if anybody comes, stay away from chair 18. I don't want anybody around me.
So people, the other thing, and I think this might be a good thing to talk about for a couple minutes. People have been asking me about KUSI because they got bought
By Fox 5.
by the same company that owns Fox 5.
Which is Nexstar. Massive.
And it
200 stations.
It looks like what's happening is that big building that KUSI is in is going to get gutted and rebuilt.
Which they're working on.
And Fox and KUSI are both going to be in the same building.
Right. Have you been to Fox 5, their building? Really? I mean, the studio really nice. They got a full, and they're going to put a full-blown kitchen in that building where KUSI is for doing segments.
Oh, okay.
Like cooking shows.
You're just excited about the kitchen.
Well, yeah, because the little
I'm going to get to put my lunch there. That'll be awesome.
I know. I'm so excited. But yeah, so what they're going to do is there used to be San Diego Home and Garden magazine. Are you familiar with that? You remember that?
Yep.
So that went away. So that's where the Fox news is going to be. Then KUSI is going to be in their old location. So they're going to have two separate news coming out of the same building, and they're going to rock and roll. So now I see.
Yeah, well, so people, I haven't really noticed, big differences. I mean, I was just on there 3 times. People, I think people are panicking.
Well, they still are.
Left wing, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Are.
I think everything's KUSI's
but
been standard operating procedure so far.
KUSI found out, or what Fox 5 found out, that they started digging into what is KUSI, what is it all about, who are they. They were coming in every day for about a week, and then they just walked away. And they basically left us alone.
Yeah.
We have no upper management dictating to us what to do.
But I think it's actually be an advantage for, like, I'm looking at it as an advantage. I go to one place at one time and have the potential to be on both, on both stations.
Well, and that's kind of where my head is at. The only downside to it is, to be honest with you, this is the first year in 24 years I didn't do the auto show.
Well, yeah.
And KUSI didn't do the auto show. They had Fox 5 do it because they've got a guy over
I
there,
see.
Nick Miles, who I've known for years. He came in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
The San Diego Auto Show?
Yeah, the San Diego International Auto
Down at the
Convention Center.
Anything exciting happen there?
I don't know. It's over. I didn't go.
You didn't go? Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to rub salt in that one.
That's perfectly okay. It's just like you not getting to go to the prom. But I'll get over it. It's perfectly okay. Even though I gave you a vehicle for a couple days.
You did. Right. Super nice. Yeah. A Lexus.
Yeah.
No less.
Everybody gives you Lexus. You either get a Lexus
or a
Lexi. Or
I think
or Beamer.
The plural of Lexus, I believe, is Lexi.
Is that right?
You have more than one Lexus, you have Lexi.
Look at that. Does that look like the look she's not even going to bother to look?
It'll be the next line in the Alan Sherman song.
Is that the one in the Alan Sherman song? What?
Maybe.
All right. Hey, what do we got? What's the question for Sam?
Yeah, so we're going to have a really good question for Uncle Sam.
Did you see the...
By the way, real quick.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new guns that are coming on the roster with removing the microstamp requirement.
Yeah.
Anything on your...
What's an example?
Anything cool?
Hellcat.
So there's some good carry guns that are coming on. Yeah, the Hellcat. The Ruger brought out the Max 9. The Shield Plus. The P365 seems to be the most popular with people.
What about the Easy?
The Easy, as far as I know, is not. And if it is, I've not heard that memo.
That seems like a perfect gun to come on a list.
It would be. But, if you think about it from the standpoint of a business, they have to pay, and there's a process to get a gun, and I imagine they picked the one they thought would be the better fit, one that made the most economical sense. So as far as I know, it's just the Plus. But I wouldn't be surprised if at some
I'm
point
just
they bring the
surprised.
easy out.
Okay, so why is this happening? I thought that
The
was,
microstamping is what held back the ability to add. That was removed.
Yeah,
And
so
now it's possible.
So another judge said, "Hey, this is ridiculous," and the
Mhm.
state even, well, they were like, "Well, we can't defend this either," so it's
Mhm.
on hold. They're trying to salvage as much of the rest of it as they can, but we are winning. I'm telling you right now.
Mhm.
The reason I'm so positive is I can see the future. The future's
Common
bright.
sense.
It's Second Amendment,
common sense.
Yep.
That's right? It's sense.
Common sense will always rule.
I
That's
agree.
it.
All right, folks, welcome to Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
Hey, if you're a gun owner and if you ever need to use your gun to protect yourself or your loved ones, you need legal protection. Even if you do everything right, even if you're 100% justified, you should be prepared for the legal battle after your self-defense battle. We've seen it right here in San Diego, where an innocent man showed his firearm to discourage a violent attacker, and he had to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees to discourage a violent attacker, and he had to spend thousands of dollars. That's right, he just said that.
Yeah.
To restore his freedom and rights. That's why you need firearms legal protection. When you join, you get uncapped legal protection for self-defense for civil or criminal cases with a 24/7 hotline. Joining is easy. Just go to firearmslegal.com, click on and become a member, use code GOR for a discount. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing that you are protected if you are ever involved in a self-defense incident. Firearmslegal.com and use the discount code GOR.
We're going to get that guy. By the way, the guy on the that they talked about, the guy that used the firearm in self-defense.
Are you working on that?
Yep, we're going to get him on air. So I got his contact information. All right, time for everybody's favorite segment. It is time for Stump My Nephew. We found out that my nephew Sam is extremely good at gun trivia. So if you write us and send in a good gun trivia question, and we use it on the air, you get a hat or a shirt. If you stump my nephew, you get something special. I don't know what we'll do. Something special for the gun show or gun prom or gun rights policy conference. Something cool.
The gun show.
But I can already tell you right now, he's not going to stump him with this one.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I think you're right, though. I think he's going to know it.
All right, Sam, you there?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Good. The Mark from Coronado got you a Christmas present. He's lobbing you a softball on this one. And now I'm building up the pressure and watch him not get it right. But it's a good question, Mark. I'm just giving you a hard time. This is really more a statement of how knowledgeable and qualified and what a great track record Sam has. I'm pretty sure he's going to knock this one out of the park. So without further ado, Alisha.
Sure. So our question, as Mike stated, is from Mark from Coronado, and his question is, what gun was nicknamed the Chicago typewriter?
Mark from beautiful Coronado. I guess it's beautiful. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. You've been there.
What have I?
Yeah, when you were a little kid, you attended a wedding there in 2007.
Oh, okay. So what firearm was nicknamed the Chicago typewriter? That refers to, of course, everyone's favorite, some people's favorite, the Thompson submachine gun. It was popular among gangsters centered around Chicago, as that was a hot spot of organized criminal activity back in the 1920s and 30s. Thompsons were really expensive back in the day, so most of the entities that used them were they had to be well funded. So it was either the U.S. government or organized criminal organizations to whom cost was really no object. Those things cost $200 back in the 30s. So for reference, that's multiple thousands today.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. You know, they are known for the mafia connection, but they're actually used in trenches in World War I, weren't they?
They were developed for use in World War I. I don't know how many saw combat realistically, but the variant with which most people are familiar from gangster movies is the M1928, which is it's got those fins on the barrel. It's got that angled vertical foregrip. It's got this complicated adjustable rear sight assembly, whereas most of them used in World War II were M1 Thompsons, which are greatly simplified.
I have another question.
Fire away.
This is from a listener who just texted me this question. It says, "Hi, Dave. Odd question for you guys. I have a Colt Diamondback 38 Special. Is it safe to use plus P ammo for defense use, or will it damage my gun?"
That's good. I don't know if you have
Who's
enough.
that from?
His name is Greg.
I don't know if you have enough info to answer that. Do you? Or you
Well,
just
yeah, we
Thanks
do.
for writing into Car Talk, Greg. Is it safe to use plus P ammunition in my old Colt Diamondback?
Right.
Plus P ammunition is usually about 10% over spec. For 9mm, it's 10% over. But depending on the cartridge, it's some percentage over the maximum specification, but it is less than a proof load. So a properly built firearm should not be damaged by use of plus P ammunition. But I do not recommend you use plus P in any firearm that is not specifically rated for it, because it can cause with prolonged use, it can cause excessive wear and eventually damage due to repeated strain. And a lot of older firearms just are not made to the same level of robustness as modern ones. The metallurgy wasn't quite as good. So if your old Colt Diamondback, take a look in the manual. If it does not say it is suitable for use with plus P ammunition, I would definitely avoid it.
See,
There
I
you go.
and you already poo-pooed the question.
I didn't poo-poo it. Rather than click and clack, we're click and bang.
Yeah, click and bang. Thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate you answering that, and I'm sure Greg will be
Why would I
thrilled
poo-poo
as
that?
well. And,
I didn't poo-poo that.
and we're
That's
not
a great
giving
question.
And we're not
I just
giving
did-
Greg a hat either.
We'll give him. You can give him a hat.
Can we give him a hat?
We can give him a hat if he emails us.
All right.
And tells us what his address is. I don't know. A lot of people, I've heard, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that a lot of people, if you go to the range, don't use plus P. But if you're, carrying it for self-defense, use plus P. And that's one way to minimize the wear and tear on your firearm.
Yeah, but I think Sam made a point. If your gun is not capable or is not, recommended
It's not
to use
recommended.
plus P.
And if you're
I'd
not
do it.
sure,
I'd
you
probably
can
do
Well,
it.
of course you would do it.
It's not.
Should we go back to the Jeep?
If you bought a gun that
Do we
can't,
want to go back to
No,
the
no.
Jeep?
If you bought a gun that can't handle an additional 10%, then it's on you. You shouldn't have that gun. It'll be just fine. But I actually fired plus P through a titanium 38 short barrel. Yeah, it was completely ridiculous. It was I could not hold the gun straight, of the recoil. There's no way to
those
no way to
paws?
manage. That's what I'm saying. If I can't manage that recoil, I don't know who can. Alisha probably can.
Sam, we're going to take your advice. Thank you very much.
There you go.
We are not taking your uncle's advice on this one.
Tell your friend to run the plus P ammo, but only when he's
And
carrying.
if it blows up in your face,
then you're definitely going to scare the burglar.
or the bird you were shooting at, one of the two.
All right, Sam. Awesome
the
job,
best.
my
Thank you,
friend.
buddy.
Good job. I don't think we don't have an article or anything to talk about, do we?
Yes,
Coming soon.
coming soon.
Coming
I like
soon.
that.
Awesome.
All right,
man.
you off next week?
Off from what? Off
Work.
from the radio show?
No, work.
No, yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
See, I knew
did
that.
you hear? Gun rights policy conference is the end of
Yeah.
September, and it's out here in San Diego. I think Sam needs to come to that. I think Sam the gunman needs to come to that. And Friday's media day, so we need to.
And we can get you in on media.
Yeah, we need to get you a ticket and have you come out, man.
And by the way, Sam, just so you'll know, because you're on this show regularly, you could make yourself up some business cards, and you can use that business card to get into any event that you want under the title of media,
There you go.
and you won't have to pay.
Yeah.
And I'm dead serious.
Just have it say on one side Sam, and you flip it over, and it says the gunman.
There you
Well,
go.
however way you want to do it, but then you put co-hosts on Gun Owners Radio, KCBQ, AM 1170, and then that right there, like any gun show you want to go to or any big event, you'll use that card, and then you will report back to us on air about what you seen and what you did, yada, yada, yada. And it won't cost you anything to go to the event.
And you take that business card to any coffee place and hand them $10. They will give you a cup of coffee.
Don't pay.
They will just hand over the cup of coffee. You show them that card.
Aren't
give
you
them $10,
glad you
and
live
they're in.
on the East Coast?
You know, and then 2 weeks after Gun Rights Policy Conference is Gun Prom. I'm not even joking. You need to come out here end of September through October 12th. And it's going to be Gunapalooza.
Are you going to
Sam the
compensate
Gunman.
this kid?
Yeah, we'll find. We're staying at your place.
No, you're going to have to pay him.
We're
You
gonna
can't
have-
expect him to come out here for free.
We're going to go rent one of those free tents that the city has.
I know. Did you see that one? You liked that, didn't
Yeah,
you?
he was a Boy Scout. We were both Boy Scouts.
Got
That'll
some
be
bougie
fun.
wash stations there.
By the way,
Fine.
did you see that Facebook
Going
where
up
they
the
put
country.
a tent on a grocery cart?
Yeah, I did.
The Coleman came out with a tent that mounts on top of a grocery cart.
It's gonna
Except
be-
you have to provide the grocery cart.
All right. Well,
We're over the top.
What do you think, Sam? You want to come out to San Diego at the end of September or beginning of October?
I would love to. I don't know.
There
if my
you go.
schedule will
That's the
allow it
spirit
yet.
we need. I like it. I don't even want to hear the rest of it. You're coming out. It'll be fun. Awesome job, Sam. Seriously, you always do such a
Seriously.
good job. So proud of you. Excellent information. And we just saw an example of him, answering a question that just came over via text. Awesome
Yeah.
job.
Hey, and go to the movies tomorrow and go see Ferrari. You'll love it.
Ferrari,
Yeah, it's a story of
So-
Enzo Ferrari.
who was Irish.
It's not.
No.
And there's no guns, but I think you might. It seems like a movie you would enjoy. It's kind of a documentary, but it's good.
All right.
I'll
Big.
take it under advisement.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there you
Thanks
go.
for the recommendation.
All right.
Big thanks to Dave for
Oh.
my Christmas present. Man.
Well,
Thank
I
you
figured
so
your
much.
little feet get cold at
Yeah,
night.
these are awesome. 511 what is it?
Socks.
Sock and Awe.
Sock
Sock
and
and
awe.
Awe crew.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Sock and Awe. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. I even got Alisha one side.
Oh, yeah?
You know, the other one's for her husband. So he can go with bear.
Like his and her sock?
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
That's
We'll
very
have to
cool, man.
decide.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. Hey, well, thank you, everybody out there. Merry Christmas to everybody. And if you're not doing anything, take a run over to Pal Joey's. It'll be a blast.
Thanks for watching this episode from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns and the Second Amendment. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just do a search for Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Click on the links in the show notes and support the businesses that support your Second Amendment rights. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.